Welcome to Postcard English Stories, your friendly space to master English, one story at a time. Whether you're here to improve your listening speaking or just enjoy engaging stories, you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and join our journey to English fluency. Let's dive right in. Let me tell you a story. It was a rainy Saturday evening. John was sitting on the couch scrolling mindlessly on his phone, while Emma was busy in the kitchen trying to prepare dinner. The sound of raindrops hitting the window was calming, but the tension between them was like a silent storm. Suddenly, Emma's voice broke the silence. "John, can you help me for just 5 minutes?" She asked, her voice tinged with frustration. John sighed, not even looking up. "I'm tired, Emma. Can't you see I'm resting?" Her shoulders stiffened. "You're always tired, John. I do everything around here. You never help." The words stung, and something snapped inside John. He shot back, "You think you're the only one tired? I work all day, and all you do is complain. Maybe if you weren't so nagging, things would be better." Silence. A heavy, painful silence. Emma's eyes filled with tears. She didn't say another word. She simply turned away, feeling a knot tighten in her chest. John's heart pounded with guilt, but his pride wouldn't let him apologize. Minutes turned into hours, and the distance between them grew wider than ever. But why did John, who loved Emma more than anything, choose hurtful words instead of kindness? Why did Emma, who cherished John, respond with anger instead of understanding? This is not just their story. It's a story many of us live. We hurt the ones we love, not because we don't care, but because we are overwhelmed, frustrated, or afraid. But there is a way to change this. A way to love without hurting. It's called emotional intelligence. In today's episode, you will learn how to understand your own emotions, control them, and build stronger, kinder relationships with the ones you love. Because the truth is, loving someone means learning to be kind even in difficult moments. Section 1. The Paradox of Love and Hurt. John and Emma's story is not unique. It's a reflection of a struggle many of us face. We love someone deeply, but sometimes our words become weapons, and our silence becomes a wall. Why? Because emotions are powerful, and without understanding them, they can control us. Love is a beautiful emotion, but it also makes us vulnerable. When we feel safe with someone, we allow ourselves to be honest, but sometimes that honesty turns into cruelty. A small misunderstanding can become a storm. A careless word can become a wound. But love is not supposed to hurt. So why does it? The answer lies in emotional intelligence. The ability to understand and manage our emotions and the emotions of those we love. Emotional intelligence is not just a term from psychology books. It is a skill that can change the way we love and the way we communicate. It is the difference between reacting with anger and responding with understanding. In this episode, we will explore the 5 key elements of emotional intelligence and how they can transform our relationships. Self-awareness. Recognizing your own emotions. Self-regulation. Controlling your reactions instead of being controlled by them. Motivation. Staying positive and committed even in difficult times. Empathy. Understanding and respecting the feelings of others. Social skills. Communicating effectively even during conflict. Why we hurt the ones we love. But why do we hurt the ones we love? Why do our words sometimes become sharp blades and our silence becomes a wall? The answer is simple but painful because love makes us vulnerable. When we love someone, we allow them to see the most honest parts of us. Our joy, our pain, our hopes, and our fears. But this closeness also means that their words and actions can affect us more deeply. A small comment can feel like a criticism. A moment of silence can feel like rejection. Stress and frustration can make this worse. When we are tired or overwhelmed, our patience is thin. Our ability to control our emotions weakens, and we react instead of responding. This is what happened to John and Emma. John's exhaustion turned into irritation, and Emma's frustration became blame. But emotional intelligence can change this. Imagine a world where John could say, "Emma, I'm really tired right now. Can I help you after I rest for a bit?" Or where Emma could say, "John, I feel overwhelmed. Can we do this together?" The cycle of hurt. Without emotional intelligence, our conflicts become a cycle. We hurt each other. We feel guilty. We apologize, but the next argument happens the same way. It becomes a painful pattern like walking in circles. But we can break this cycle. We can learn to understand our emotions and the emotions of those we love. We can learn to communicate with kindness, even when we are hurt. The role of triggers. One reason we hurt the ones we love is because of triggers. A trigger is something that reminds us of a past hurt or a fear causing a strong emotional reaction. For John, his trigger was feeling like his efforts were not appreciated. For Emma, her trigger was feeling unsupported and overwhelmed. But triggers are not the enemy. They are teachers. When we recognize them, we can begin to heal. We can learn to pause to understand our feelings and to communicate them calmly, transforming reactions into responses. The biggest difference between hurting someone and healing them is how we choose to respond. Reaction is instant, emotional, and often hurtful. Response is thoughtful, calm, and compassionate. Emotional intelligence gives us the tools to transform our reactions into responses. It allows us to pause to breathe and to ask ourselves, what am I really feeling? What do I truly want to say? A new way to love. Imagine a relationship where conflicts are not battles, but opportunities to understand each other better. Where instead of shouting, you choose to share. Instead of blaming, you choose to explain. This is not just a dream. It is the reality of a relationship built on emotional intelligence. But how can we develop this skill? How can we learn to love without hurting? It begins with awareness, but it doesn't end there. In the next part, we will dive deeper into understanding what emotional intelligence really means and how you can start using it in your life today. We will look at real stories, practical tips, and simple exercises to help you become more aware of your emotions and communicate with love instead of anger. Section 2. Understanding Emotional Intelligence. EI. What exactly is emotional intelligence? Why is it so important in our relationships, especially with those we love the most? Emotional intelligence EI is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions, as well as recognize, understand, and influence the emotions of others. It is the difference between a relationship that heals and one that hurts. It is the difference between a conversation that brings you closer and one that tears you apart. The 5 pillars of emotional intelligence. Self-awareness. The foundation of emotional intelligence. It is the ability to recognize and understand your own emotions. For John, self-awareness would mean understanding that his exhaustion was making him irritable, not Emma's request for help. Self-regulation. This is the ability to control your emotional reactions. It means not letting anger drive your words or actions. Imagine if John had paused, taken a deep breath, and chosen to respond with kindness instead of frustration. Motivation. Staying committed and positive, even during difficult times. For Emma, motivation would mean reminding herself that asking for help does not mean she is weak or alone. Empathy. The ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. Emma could have paused and asked herself, is John really being selfish, or is he just tired? John could have asked, is Emma really complaining, or is she overwhelmed? Social skills. The ability to communicate effectively, resolve conflicts, and build strong connections. Instead of blaming each other, John and Emma could have chosen to express their feelings with honesty and kindness. Why emotional intelligence matters. But why does this skill matter so much? Because without it, love becomes fragile. Misunderstandings turn into arguments, stress turns into blame, and affection turns into resentment. The difference between reaction and response. Emotional intelligence is the power to choose your response instead of reacting instantly. It means you don't let anger speak for you. You don't let frustration become cruelty. Imagine a moment when you felt hurt by someone you loved. Maybe they said something careless and it left a scar. But did they mean to hurt you? Or were they simply overwhelmed by their own emotions? How emotional intelligence transforms relationships. Better communication. Instead of arguing, you express your feelings calmly. Deeper. Understanding, you don't just hear words, you understand emotions. Stronger. Trust, you feel safe to share your thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment. But emotional intelligence is not something you are born with. It is something you can learn, practice, and strengthen over time. Developing emotional intelligence in daily life. Self-reflection. Set aside time each night to ask yourself, what did I feel today? Why did I feel that way? Write it down if it helps, pausing, before reacting. In moments of anger or frustration, take a deep breath. Count to 5 before you speak. Active listening. When someone talks, focus entirely on them. Don't plan your response. Just listen. Use I feel statements. Instead of saying you never help, try saying I feel overwhelmed when I do everything alone. Practice empathy. Imagine yourself in the other person's situation. Ask yourself, how would I feel if I were them? Real-life examples, Sarah and Michael. Sarah and Michael have been married for 5 years, but lately they seem to argue all the time. One day after a big fight, they decide to try something new. Emotional intelligence. Sarah learns to pause before she speaks, asking herself, am I speaking from hurt or from love? Michael learns to listen without interrupting, trying to understand Sarah's feelings. Over time, their fights become less frequent. They still disagree sometimes, but now they understand each other better. They use I feel statements and choose to respond with kindness. Emotional intelligence does not make relationships perfect, but it makes them stronger. It turns conflicts into conversations and anger into understanding. In the next section, we will explore how you can develop emotional intelligence in real situations with stories and practical examples to help you understand how it works in everyday life. Section 3. Emotional intelligence in real-life situations. Understanding emotional intelligence is one thing, but using it in real life is another. In this section, we will explore how emotional intelligence works in different scenarios, from family arguments to workplace conflicts, from misunderstandings with friends to moments of self-doubt. Emotional intelligence in family relationships. Imagine a dinner table conversation that starts with a simple question but ends in an argument. Why does this happen? Often, it is because someone feels unheard, misunderstood, or unappreciated. Emotional intelligence helps you recognize these feelings and address them with compassion. Active listening. Make eye contact, nod, and respond thoughtfully. Stay calm. If you feel upset, take a deep breath before replying. Use I feel statements. Instead of saying you never understand me, try saying I feel hurt when I am interrupted. Emotional intelligence in friendships. Even the best of friends can hurt each other, but emotional intelligence can repair the damage. Apologize. Honestly, if you hurt a friend, say sorry without making excuses. Show empathy. Listen to their side of the story. Understand how they feel. Rebuild trust. Keep your promises and be there for them. Emotional intelligence at work. At work, conflicts can become toxic if not handled with care. Handle criticism positively. Instead of feeling attacked, see feedback as a chance to grow. Respect differences. Understand that your coworkers have different perspectives. Manage stress. Use deep breathing or take short breaks when overwhelmed. Emotional intelligence with yourself. Perhaps the most important use of emotional intelligence is with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Don't criticize yourself for mistakes. Learn from them. Recognize your triggers. What situations make you upset? Why? Celebrate small wins. Notice your progress even if it's small. A story of change. Alex's journey. Alex used to be someone who reacted with anger. A small mistake would make him shout. A misunderstanding would make him silent and bitter. But after learning about emotional intelligence, everything changed. Alex began to pause before reacting. He started journaling his feelings, understanding his triggers, and using "I feel" statements. His relationships improved. His workplace stress reduced. Emotional intelligence turned his life from chaos to calm. Emotional intelligence in difficult conversations. There will be times when difficult conversations are necessary, with your partner, your parents, your boss, or even yourself. Prepare emotionally. Before the conversation, take a moment to recognize your emotions. Are you angry, hurt, or afraid? Stay focused on the issue. Don't bring up old arguments. Stick to the problem you are trying to solve. Listen. Without defending. Even if you disagree, try to understand the other person's perspective. How to use emotional intelligence to resolve conflicts. Pause and breathe. When you feel anger rising, take a deep breath. Identify the emotion. Ask yourself, what am I really feeling? Express yourself. Calmly. Use "I feel" statements to communicate your feelings without blaming. Listen. Actively. Let the other person speak without interrupting. Find a solution together. Instead of trying to win the argument, focus on solving the problem. The power of forgiveness. Emotional intelligence also means knowing when to forgive. Holding on to anger is like carrying a heavy weight. But when you choose to forgive, you free yourself. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting or accepting hurtful behavior. It means choosing peace over bitterness. A practical exercise. The Emotional Awareness Journal. Start an emotional awareness journal. Each day, write down what emotions you felt. What triggered those emotions? How you reacted? What you could have done differently? Over time, this will help you become more aware of your emotional patterns and learn to manage them better. The importance of gratitude. Gratitude is a simple but powerful way to strengthen emotional intelligence. Each day, write down 3 things you are grateful for. This shifts your focus from negative emotions to positive ones. In the next section, we will explore how to develop emotional intelligence through practical exercises and habits you can use every day to become more aware, more patient, and more compassionate. Section 4, Developing Emotional Intelligence, Practical Exercises and Daily Habits. Understanding emotional intelligence is a great start, but how do we actually build this skill in our daily lives? In this section, we will explore practical exercises, daily habits and mindset shifts that can help you develop and strengthen your emotional intelligence over time. The power of daily reflection. One of the simplest but most powerful ways to build emotional intelligence is through daily reflection. Set aside a few minutes each night to think about your day. What emotions did you feel today? What caused those emotions? How did you react? What could you have done differently? Write these thoughts in a journal. Over time, this practice will help you become more aware of your emotional triggers and how you respond. Deep breathing and mindfulness. Emotional intelligence starts with self-awareness, and nothing helps you become more aware than mindfulness. Deep breathing exercise. When you feel overwhelmed, pause. Breathe in slowly for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and breathe out for 4 seconds. Repeat this 3 times. Body scan. Meditation. Close your eyes and focus on each part of your body from your head to your toes. Notice any tension and consciously relax it. Active listening practice. Listening is a key part of emotional intelligence, but most of us don't listen to understand, we listen to reply. When someone speaks, focus fully on them. Don't interrupt. After they finish, summarize what they said before responding. This not only shows respect, but also helps you truly understand the other person's feelings. Using I feel statements. When you express your emotions, use I feel statements instead of blaming. Instead of saying you never help me, say I feel overwhelmed when I have to do everything alone. Instead of you are always angry, try I feel hurt when our conversations turn into arguments. This simple change can prevent conflicts from becoming worse. Gratitude. Journaling. Gratitude is a powerful tool for emotional intelligence because it shifts your focus from what is wrong to what is right. Each morning, write down 3 things you are grateful for. Before bed, write down 3 positive things that happened during the day. This practice trains your mind to focus on the good instead of the bad. Visualization for emotional control. Visualization is a powerful way to manage your emotions. When you feel stressed, close your eyes and imagine yourself in a peaceful place, a beach, a forest, or a quiet room. Imagine your stress leaving your body with each breath. Building empathy. Through perspective. Taking. Empathy is a key part of emotional intelligence. To build empathy, when someone is upset, ask yourself, how would I feel if I were them? Try to understand their emotions even if you don't agree with their words. Practice small acts of kindness, a smile, a kind word, or helping someone in need. Real-life application. Lisa's story. Lisa used to get frustrated easily. If her husband forgot something, she would immediately become angry. If her co-workers disagreed with her, she would feel defensive. But after learning about emotional intelligence, Lisa began to change. She started journaling every night, reflecting on her emotions. She practiced deep breathing when she felt anger rising. She used I feel statements to express her thoughts without blaming. Over time, Lisa's relationships improved. Her arguments became less frequent, and her stress reduced. The importance of forgiveness. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. Emotional intelligence means learning to forgive not just others, but yourself. Forgive yourself for past mistakes. Forgive others for their words or actions. Understand that forgiveness does not mean accepting bad behavior. It means choosing peace over pain. Practicing patience and self-control. Patience is a sign of emotional intelligence. It means staying calm, even when things are not going your way. When you feel impatient, remind yourself, this feeling will pass. Distract yourself with a positive thought. Practice waiting in line in traffic or during a difficult conversation. A practical exercise. The emotion wheel. The emotion wheel is a tool that helps you identify and name your emotions. When you feel something strong, look at the wheel and choose the word that best describes it. Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Think of one positive action you can take to feel better. The role of self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to a friend who is struggling. Replace self-criticism with self-encouragement. Remind yourself it's okay to make mistakes. I am learning. Creating a daily emotional intelligence routine. Mornings start with gratitude journaling. 3 things you are grateful for. Afternoon, practice active listening during conversations. Evening, reflect on your emotions and reactions in your journal. Night, do a quick deep breathing exercise before sleep. In the next section, we will explore how to maintain emotional intelligence even during difficult situations, such as arguments, criticism, or stress. You will learn how to stay calm, communicate effectively, and protect your emotional well-being. Section 5. Maintaining emotional intelligence in difficult situations. Emotional intelligence is easy to maintain when life is calm and peaceful. But what happens when emotions run high, when you are hurt, angry, or stressed? In this section, we will explore how to maintain emotional intelligence even during the most difficult situations. Understanding emotional triggers. We all have emotional triggers. Specific words, actions, or situations that cause us to react strongly. These triggers are often connected to past experiences, insecurities, or unresolved feelings. Identify your triggers. Spend some time thinking about the situations that upset you most. Are there specific words, behaviors, or situations that instantly make you angry or hurt? Understand the source. Ask yourself, why does this trigger me? Does it remind me of something painful? The power of the pause. One of the simplest but most powerful ways to maintain emotional intelligence is to pause. When you feel a strong emotion rising, take a moment to stop. Breathe deeply. Inhale slowly through your nose. Hold for a few seconds and exhale through your mouth. Count to 5. This gives your mind time to process and prevents impulsive reactions. Ask yourself, what am I really feeling? What do I truly want to say? Responding instead of reacting. Reacting is instant, emotional, and often hurtful. Responding is thoughtful, calm, and kind. If you are angry, say, I feel frustrated right now. Can we talk about this later when I'm calm? If you are hurt, say, I feel sad because I feel misunderstood. Can we talk about it? Setting healthy boundaries. Maintaining emotional intelligence also means protecting yourself. Boundaries are not walls, they are limits that keep you safe. Be clear. Let others know what is acceptable and what is not. Use kindness, set boundaries calmly without anger or blame. Stand firm. If someone crosses your boundary, remind them respectfully. Handling criticism with emotional intelligence. Criticism can be hard to accept, but emotional intelligence helps you handle it gracefully. Listen without defending. Even if it hurts, try to understand the other person's perspective. Ask questions. Can you help me understand what I can do better? Stay calm. Remind yourself that criticism is an opportunity to learn. Dealing with conflicts are a natural part of life, but emotional intelligence can turn conflicts into opportunities for growth. Focus on solutions instead of blaming. Ask, how can we fix this? Stay respectful. Even if you disagree, keep your words kind. Know when to walk away. If the conflict becomes too intense, take a break and continue later. Practicing self-compassion. In difficult situations, you may not always react perfectly, and that's okay. Emotional intelligence means being kind to yourself even when you make mistakes. Forgive yourself. Remind yourself that you are learning. Avoid negative self-talk. Replace, I'm so stupid with I'm still growing. Real life story. Mark and the apology. He never gave. Mark always found it hard to apologize. He felt that saying sorry made him look weak, but this mindset damaged his relationships. His girlfriend Anna often felt hurt because Mark never admitted when he was wrong. One day after a big argument, Mark learned about emotional intelligence. He realized that apologizing is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of strength. He went to Anna and said, "I'm sorry for making you feel unimportant. I didn't mean to hurt you." Anna's eyes filled with tears. They hugged, and for the first time, Mark felt free. Apologizing didn't make him weak, it made him strong. Strategies for maintaining calm. During stress is a part of life, but emotional intelligence can help you stay calm, even when life is difficult. Create a safe space. When you feel overwhelmed, go to a quiet place where you can think. Use a stress relief technique. Try deep breathing meditation or a short walk. Remind yourself this moment is temporary. I can handle it. Emotional intelligence in heated arguments. Arguments can quickly become hurtful if emotions take control, but you can stay emotionally intelligent even in the heat of a fight. Lower your voice. When you speak calmly, the other person is more likely to calm down too. Don't use absolutes. Avoid words like always or never. They make the other person feel attacked. Take a break. If the argument is getting too intense, suggest taking a 15-minute pause. A practical exercise. The 5-second rule. Whenever you feel a strong emotion, use the 5-second rule. Pause and count backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what is the best way to respond? Building resilience with emotional intelligence. Resilience is the ability to recover from setbacks. Emotional intelligence helps you build resilience because it allows you to see problems as opportunities to learn. Reframe problems. Instead of saying, "This is too hard," say, "This is a chance to grow." Seek support. Talk to someone you trust when you feel overwhelmed. Celebrate small victories. Every time you handle a difficult situation, calmly acknowledge it.